We have reached a new milestone in the Mr. Beast versus DogPack404 saga. Mr. Beast has hired a lawyer who has publicly released a private cease and desist letter. DogPack404 has released part 1 to part 3. I don't know. Let's break down the cease and desist letter sent to DogPack404 and how this will affect his series. First, let's catch you up on what's been going on. A creator with the YouTube handle DogPack404 has gone viral for working to expose Mr. Beast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, through a series of YouTube videos. He has released 2 50-minute videos and recently a mini part 3 that accused Mr. Beast of rigging competitions, faking videos, conducting illegal lotteries, traumatizing past contestants, hiding sexual assault, and protecting sexual offenders. These allegations are accompanied by claims from several anonymous and some identified sources, footage from some past videos, and even an interview with a former Mr. Beast employee and contestant. I already have a video explaining the legal side of Mr. Beast's giveaways, so check that out if you want a real lawyer's perspective on the allegations of illegal lotteries. Now let's break down the cease and desist letter. The first thing we should note is that this letter is dated July 31st, 2024, which is now over a month ago. So it's pretty obvious that DogPack404 has chosen to ignore this letter, and I'm going to explain why. Let's start with an implication from the letter itself. It's not the first cease and desist letter that Mr. Beast has sent to the Dogman, because the letter references a similar, though presumably less thorough, cease and desist letter dated July 25th, 2024. Dogpack ignored the first letter, and it didn't hurt him to ignore it. So now he's ignored the second letter. You can hardly blame him if you threaten someone, especially someone that's devious or attention-seeking, like it seems the Pooch Man is. Then you don't follow through with your threat. You're begging them, pun intended, like how dogs beg. You know what? Never mind. You're begging them to ignore you the next time also. And why not? You're all bark and no bite. I can go on. Or should I heal? Nah, I'll just stay. But seriously, the letter is a warning shot, and it doesn't have a great degree of legal significance. Let's start with the basics. It appears that Dogpack is in fact collared by a valid and binding NDA. At least he's not claiming yet that he didn't sign it, and it's not like there's any meaningful intentionality or mindset necessary to declare that someone is breaching a contract. They're either breaching it or they're not. But if you want to warn them to stop so that you can later show the judge that their behavior is intentional, before the judge orders them to go to obedience school or whatever, then a cease and desist letter is a great idea. But yeah, sure, he can ignore it. What does this specific letter entail? The letter first accuses DogPack404 of violating his social media restriction, stating, "You voluntarily entered into a binding NDA agreement with Mr. Beast. That NDA agreement included a social media restriction clause, which reads, employees shall not post anything on social media about the company, Jimmy Donaldson, or the employee's employment with the company." These are obvious references to the 2 videos posted on the DogPack404 channel and posts to Reddit and Twitter. The letter then accuses DogPack404 of breaking the confidential information provision of the NDA, which prohibits disclosure about Jimmy Donaldson, employee and personnel information, procedures, processes, and other confidential information from the business relating to methods, marketing, merchandising, and so much more. Information he has very obviously, very publicly, very intentionally disclosed to millions and millions of people. The last section of the letter is titled Mr. Beast's Demands, which is essentially to stop the series and delete the post by August 1st, or Mr. Beast will have you served with papers initiating a lawsuit against you. And I'll break down that statement in just a second. But first, we should point out that NDAs like this, they're normal, they're pervasive in business, they're arguably necessary so that organizations can function and grow. It is necessary for people who don't know each other and don't trust each other to bind themselves in writing as a condition of employment to a code of conduct that will govern them should the employment relationship break down. And it did here, because even though Dogpack was still just a puppy when he was fired, that doesn't make the NDA unenforceable, nor is it unenforceable just because he no longer works there. Many aspects of employment agreements survive the end of the employment relationship. Now, on the other hand, there are reasons that an NDA might not be binding. For instance, like if it wasn't signed, or if there was some fraud in obtaining the signature, or if there's some public policy reason that it can't be enforced. That being said, I'm asking Dawson French, aka DogPack404, to please make a video explaining why the agreement is not binding on him if in fact that is his position. The cease and desist letter includes other random tidbits of information, including that DogPack404 was fired 3 weeks into his trial period for inappropriate behavior, ignoring his supervisor, peeing on the carpet, and secretly using company resources on a toy. They allege that DogPack404 blamed his behavior on programming from being raised with access to an iPad and bad mental health. During his recorded termination meeting, DogPack begged to stay and asked if he could reapply. Now, take these allegations as you will. They're not very flattering. Also, I made up the part about peeing on the carpet, obviously. And now we can finally break down the threat of a lawsuit. Again, the cease and desist letter gave DogPack a deadline of August 1st, 2024, which has since come and gone. So where's the lawsuit and what does it theoretically say? Well, there are two main elements that any lawsuit would contain in this situation. The one that you're probably thinking of is a request for monetary damages for loss in revenue or some other economic harm to the Mr. Beast organization. Let's leave a pin in that for a second, because the second element of such a lawsuit would be a request for a restraining order that would make it a violation of a court order for Snoop to leave up his current videos or to make any more. Such an order is a big deal. You don't immediately go to jail for violating that order, but you don't not go to jail if you keep violating it either. And what I mean is this: if you've agreed in a written contract to be subject to a request to a court for a restraining order, then almost every court will issue an order like that. And once they issue the order, every court will enforce it. Now, to be clear, most judges are slow to anger and they're not going to jail you for no reason. As a side note, if you want to watch a video about a judge who jailed a teen for a few hours just for falling asleep while he was talking, check out this video right here. But anyways, most judges will just warn you and try to help you understand how bad things will go for you if you do violate the order on purpose, because you can be put in the county kennel for intentionally violating the court order. And that threat of jail is so much more valuable to Mr. Beast than the first claim in this theoretical lawsuit that we discussed, the claim for money damages. Because, as I said, they would sue for lost revenue from the breach of the agreement, but those sorts of things are notoriously hard to prove in terms of an exact dollar amount. Moreover, DogPack404 is not worth suing. Bro has no money. Remember, Mr. Beast is paying his lawyer something like $2,000 per hour to hound this guy, and that's gonna get very expensive. So sure, maybe Mr. Beast gets a judgment against Dawson French to pay him even some outrageous amount, let's say $500,000, but he won't ever collect that money. French doesn't have that money now, and he never will have it. So in reality, the restraining order is way more valuable to Mr. Beast. If this all sounds pretty serious for DogPack404, then you are hearing me correctly. I get it. He's made the decision to go public to try to build a brand off of these grievances, both real and imagined, or perhaps just exaggerated, that he has from his short stint with Mr. Beast. But, he's gonna need to spend some real money on a lawyer soon. Unless he doesn't. It's been over a month so far, and he's been violating the NDA, and Mr. Beast has threatened him, but crickets, no lawsuit. So maybe DogPack404 is some kind of genius or something. As I've mentioned a few times now, DogPack404 has released a mini part 3 unpacking specifically some allegations against James Warren and LaKoya Hill, who he calls Mr. Beast's secret CEO and COO. And that video includes accusations of domestic abuse, sexual assault, and cover-ups by Jimmy Donaldson and his team. What are your thoughts on this cease and desist letter? How many dog puns did you catch in this video? Do you think DogPack404 should stop posting, or are you rooting for the underdog? I got you again. Well, according to DogPack404, there are more parts to come, so stay tuned for that video from him, I guess, and stay tuned for mine, because if a lawsuit is filed by Mr. Beast, you better believe I will be covering it. So lawyer up, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Because the letter references a similar... Yeah, some short... Whoops, wow. I don't know why I'm shooting them.